She's at 4. Hey everyone, and thank you for joining Blessings Radio. Today we have a special guest, Antoinette Lawson. Antoinette, please tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. And I just want everybody to remember that we are all in this together. There's a lot of things going on, and we have to find something that's the cord that brings us together. I happen to wear glasses, so if you want to unite with me because I have glasses, but find something that you can connect with someone. It's better to be connected than disconnected. The world's a lonely place with that magic number one. So I'll start there. And everything that I do is usually organic, and I have no filter. So sometimes people say, "Oh, where did that
I
come
love
from?"
it. I love it though. It's just natural. It just comes out. You know what I mean? I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm not the person you want to put on speakerphone because without no warning, because I don't know what's going to come out my mouth. It just, whatever. You know what I mean? So just
Same
give me a
here.
heads up if you're going to have me on speakerphone. But yeah, definitely. And it's just all natural, all you, you know?
And
That's
that's what brings me back to the whole tie-in of the company, Women with Voices LLC, because for so long you read in history, if it even made it into the history books, what a woman is supposed to be. And a lot of times you read they're supposed to be voiceless. So Women with Voices is allowing you to embrace your voice. And I started a theater company over a decade ago, and it's always talking about women empowerment, underserved communities, and how to be the voice for the voiceless. That is the mission statement. And due to COVID, we just have to find unique ways to continue to keep our voice out there and being heard and staying empowered. So though the actual theater is on hold, the message is always ongoing. You could find that on my website, womenwithvoicesllc.com. And underneath that, the other piece that's interesting, I find, if you look in history about empowering how a woman's role is supposed to be and how is she supposed to dress and what is she supposed to wear. I have a boutique, and that's Women with Voices LLC.shop. And it's a very unique shop. It's very organic. You will find one of a kind things. Some of the things I make, some of the things I have friends that make things, but it's nothing that you would go into a big shop and see mass production. I like being unique and I like feeling unique. So I try to bring that out in the things that I purchase for other people.
Yeah, definitely. Because who wants to wear what everybody else is wearing? You know what I mean? You want to be yourself. You want to feel yourself. You want to live your truth. And what better way of doing that than standing out from the rest? You know what I mean? And being comfortable in your own skin to be able to do that. So that's so
Yes.
cool that you offer that as well. Now, where is okay, let's bring it back to Women with Voices. How
Yes.
did you start that? What inspired you to start that?
Oh, that is such an interesting concept. So I've always, like I said, I've always been outspoken and I've always been opinionated. So my grandfather told me that I should be a lawyer. However, being a lawyer means that if I don't agree with somebody, I still have to defend them to the best of my capability. Rather, I think they're dead wrong. So that wasn't going to work out for me. Then I said, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be a psychiatrist. And I was forced to take a writing class, and he would just pick on me. And I felt like he was picking on me. And he would ask additional duties of me in the class that he wouldn't ask for everyone else because he saw something in my writing.
Mhm.
And that was in SUNY Cobleskill. And we fast forward, I was on a campus of UAlbany, and I bumped into him. I didn't know that he was teaching there as well. And he's like, oh, let me guess, you're here for journalism. Or like he just started naming all of these things about writing. And I said, no, I'm actually studying psych and sociology. And he said, oh, that's too bad. And he walked away. That was the end of it. And
He was disappointed. Aw.
yeah, his impact of disappointment was so profound. I said, maybe I need to tap into this. So I started writing more, and I decided to self-publish a book in 2006. It was called 10 Sure Signs You're Not Dating 101.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, that was all nerve wracking, and you don't know how it's going to go. And I'm in a process of writing my second book and a documentary.
That's amazing. So that inspired you to do Women's with Voices because you wanted to give a place for women to have be able to speak their voices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your production company, tell us a little bit about that. Like that's, do you produce movies or musicals or spoken words or I, for those who don't know exactly what is it that you do. I know right now because of COVID, it's everything's on hold, but what have you
Right.
done with that?
So prior to that, it was like a family oriented. It was, I had my close friends with me, and I had my brother and my sister in law with me, and I decided to make it a family affair because no one else had the passion that I had for it or my family members had for it. They would leave in the middle of production. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I rewrite this whole script? How do I do this again? And the other thing that makes it unique about it, I write, produce, and direct all my work.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a
Thank
lot.
you. Yeah, it really is. There's different people. They call them different things: stage managers, producers, directors. I was all of that in one, under one little umbrella. And as directions change, everybody's doing different things in life. We went separate ways. And I said, well, how can I keep the story going? And I started doing one woman shows featuring other women that had other impacting stories of empowerment.
Oh, that's
And
so
that was the
cool.
last thing where we left off right before COVID.
That is so cool. Have you done any online like online shows? You know what I mean, where you can stream it because
Yes.
obviously you can't have the gathering in person like that anymore for right now, but have you thought about it or have you done anything like that as well?
What I did was I shift a little bit because the book and the next play that I was in the process of doing. So I said, why not have a book and a play and then a documentary so we could get it all in tenfold? And that was my journey of finding out that I had to have emergency surgery for stage 3 colon cancer,
Oh wow.
and what that looks like. And a lot of times I find people focus on an individual it happened to, but they forget about how it affects the other people that make up that circle behind them.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm going through it, but if I didn't have the people supporting me, I don't know if I would have got through it. So I think that whole circle was important, and not just look at that one dot and forget about everything else.
That's so true, and it's cool that you say that because a lot of people don't think of the impact that the family, the significant others, they what they're going through when their loved one is diagnosed with an illness. You know what I mean? Hold on one second.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me put this on pause real quick. I apologize.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Pause real quick. So, yeah, it's cool that you do that because a lot of people don't think of the influence, the impact that it has on family members that are also going through it and they're also suffering, mentally, emotionally, physically. It can be a suffering thing for them because, when you're stressed out, stress plays a, important part in your physical conditions and having a family member that, been diagnosed with cancer, God bless you, you know what I'm saying, is very stressful, and so it's a beautiful thing that you are shedding light on that for that, you know what I mean? Because they tend to get left out because the focus is usually always on just the person that is going through it, with the physically with the illness, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
that's your documentary, hun?
Yeah, it's going through the process of me finding out what steps I had to take, how I changed my life around, and not really settling and taking no for an answer. And I think it's always important to get a second opinion, because even if the second person tells you the same thing, at least you found out. Because
Exactly.
what if that second person tells you something different? And that's literally the difference between life and death.
Yeah, and it's very important. A lot of people don't do that. They just take it for what it is and go back. I always tell everybody, see another doctor. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's better safe than sorry. Because what if the one doctor tells you, well, there's no chance of survival, you know what I mean? And the other doctor would be like, no, you got like 60%, 60%, 70% chance of survival. There's this new technology, there's this new medicine, something's always different that it won't hurt to try, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, So you have survived. That is a blessing. You've been in remission, you said, correct?
I'm 1 year colon cancer free. No more
Amen.
cancer
Hallelujah.
cells, no more anything. Everything
Yes.
is great. My
God is
colonoscopy
good.
came back great and everything went well, you know.
Yes, that is amazing. God, thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you.
So, and you're also, and thank you for joining Blessings Magazine. You also have your page there, which is amazing because that's how I was introduced to you through Corona, a mutual friend of ours who was also a writer for Blessings Magazine. And he started on his page having a little section called Antoinette Words, of wisdom, something like that. I apologize if I said it wrong. And that inspired me because it's like daily affirmations, just positive information it just hits every time. You know what I mean? So when he, introduced me to you and I asked you to be on, if you would like to join us, I was just so happy and overcome when you agreed because it's like, yes, it's more, positive people spreading more positive light and influences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just try to be that, honestly, because if you lose your focus and if you lose your hope, that's hard to get back. Hope is something hard to get back, especially when you go into a place of feeling hopeless. You have to have people that mirror your energy, otherwise they will take your energy.
Yeah. And they tend to do that a lot, especially when they're lacking in energy themselves, you know, and that's why you have to protect your space. You have to protect your energy because if not, they will just come and suck it all out of you. I'm like, nope, keep that like more than 6 feet away from me, please and thank you.
You
Definitely.
ever walk in a room and you're happy, and if it's 8 people and all 8 people are unhappy, and you're just that one happy person, you either have to have that personality that can turn it around and force it on them, and then they like you, or
Hmm.
they force their energy on you. Now instead of nine, it's 10, or and it just grows, and that
Yeah.
domino effect of negativity rolls versus the positivity.
Exactly. If I walk in a situation like that, I will try my best to turn it around. But if I feel like it's starting to drain me and my whole aura is changing, I'll be like, all right, gotta go. Love you guys. See you later.
Yeah,
And keep
yeah.
it moving. Like, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you have a better day. Your day turns out better, whatever. But I gotta go because if not, it would just bring me to another level where I'm not comfortable being in. You know what I mean? And that darkness, and knowing that it's not my darkness because when I walked into that room, I was totally fine. So it's just their energy gravitating towards me, and I rather just deflect it as best as I can.
And I'm working really hard on not personalizing things. And that is a really hard process, because if you feel like someone is invading your space or someone is disrespecting you, growing up with certain sets of rules tells you to react a certain way. So learning to undo what you've already learned to be right and realizing that that's not right, and then introducing yourself to a new way of thinking. It's that duality of, am I being a punk, or am I being right, or am I an adult?
Yeah.
And you have to really work on that and understand what an adult looks like. And when you understand what peace looks like, you understand, no, that's not a punk. A punk is really the opposite of what you was taught. The punk is standing there and fighting, because it's easy to fight
Mhm.
physically,
It's
but
harder
the
to walk
hardest fight,
away.
the mental, that's
Mhm.
tough,
Mhm.
because you have somebody yelling at you and you have to train your thoughts to say, don't pay this person any mind. How could they be angry at you personally when they don't know you?
Exactly. And
That
it's true.
trauma.
Yep, and that's what it does because they lashes out to people because they're dealing with that own, stuff inside themselves. So it's
Yep.
best to just be like, I'm gonna leave that with you because that belongs to you. That has nothing to do with me, and so I'm not gonna let it interfere with how I'm doing or I'm saying how I feel about myself because you have your own feelings and you're going through whatever you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
where is your boutique located? Where can people find you? Mention again your websites and how they can get in contact with you.
The website is Women with Voices LLC.shop. You're going to find some interesting pieces there, but mainly I am a pop up shop. So the things that I have on a website, you will not find on a pop at the pop-up, and vice versa. Because if everything was on a website, why would you even come to the pop-up?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that makes sense.
and and a lot of the things that I have may be one of a kind, or I know that after I order this, they're like, that's it. My distributors, we're not making any more of those. So though people would think it makes sense to put everything on a website, if you know that there's only two or something, why would you take hours putting something of two on, and then you got to put sold out? So it's from a small business standpoint, you have to work smarter and not harder.
Yeah,
So if
definitely.
it's only two, or it's a limited edition, rest assured those are going to be the things that's going to be at the pop-up. And I like that in-person feel, being safe, again, wearing your mask, washing your hands. Everything I have is sanitized. You have to sanitize your hands before you touch the stuff, and then I have to
Definitely.
re-clean it after you touch it. So there's safety precautions in place, but I like that feel of people coming up. And I know with me too, I like the feel of, whatever I'm getting. Like I make this, for example, I want to touch it. I want to see it looks pretty, but is it really pretty? If I hit the class, is it going to break? It's things
Mm-hmm.
I need
Yep.
to know. I need to touch.
And you want
So,
to see how it looks on you, like with earrings and glasses
right,
and necklaces and jewelry, or any little other things, what I'm saying, accessories or whatever. It does, because that's why sometimes everything looks on a computer looks nice, but then when you get it, you're like, this doesn't look the same. The color could be off, the size is
right.
definitely could be off. You're thinking that you're getting a decent pair of earrings or necklace, you get it, it's like 10 times smaller. You're like, what in the world?
Yes, right. Or it looked a certain color on a website, but
Yes.
then when you get there, it's a different color. Or you thought it was cotton, but then when you touch it, it's a little bit harder. It's like,
Yes, exactly. So I definitely can understand where you're coming from. Do you have any pop-ups coming up anytime soon?
yes, whenever I do a pop-up, it's going to be at Colony Center.
Oh,
And right
cool.
now I've been able to be located right in front of H&M.
Okay, awesome.
And think, and the next pop-up is February 6th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, perfect. And that's at Colony Center, right in front of
H&M.
H&M. Okay. So that is perfect. And your website. Now, how about Facebook? Do you have Facebook page, business
Yes.
page?
Yep. Facebook and IG is Women with Voices LLC shop as well.
Okay, perfect. So you guys make sure to check Miss Antoinette out and all her pages and contact her for some beautiful accessories and just words of wisdom, and look forward to your documentary and your new book, correct?
Yes.
I cannot wait. That's awesome. I look forward to your pages for Blessings magazine too. It's so inspirational. I love it.
I
Thank
love it.
you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so much.
having me.
Thank you for joining us here at Blessings Radio. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Blessings Radio. Today we have a special guest, Grace Smythe Young. Yay! Thank you so much for joining us. Please let our listeners know a little bit about yourself.
So, my name is Minister Grace Smythe Young, and I'm an associate minister at the Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church here in Albany, New York. And my pastor is the Pastor William E. Morgan. And I am also the lead servant of a wonderful, of course, I'm biased, ministry called To God Be the Glory Ministries. And that's what I'm on here today to talk and share a little bit about this ministry.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. This is truly blessing for you joining us. I love, number one, I love your text messages every morning. It's like as soon as I get on, I wake up, I reach over the phone, bing, bright and early, perfect way to start my day, giving grace, what I'm saying, and praise to
Amen.
my daddy. I call him my daddy, my God. I love it. It's a truly a blessing to receive those every day. So thank you
Amen.
for doing that.
Amen.
So you said you are a minister. Awesome.
So I've been in the ministry for the last going on 17 years.
Wow.
I am licensed. I'm not ordained, but I've also, and I believe when I share about my experiences, so if I may, share about who I am a little bit more, you'll understand.
Definitely.
So I am the daughter of a preacher. My dad was a pastor. My mom was a nurse, and both of them are now deceased. And we were raised always in the church. So that's number one. But we were raised in an era where women weren't looked at as preachers and even respected as preachers. So nowhere in my mind would I ever thought I would be introducing myself as Minister Grace Smythe Young. So that's number one. Number two is I am credentialed by the state of New York as a substance use disorder counselor. So that is my background. That's my secular job. And I've been in the field of addictions for probably about 30 odd years.
Wow, that's awesome. That's amazing.
So I have done anywhere from outpatient treatment to residential treatment. And right now I work as a assistant director for the Medical Society of the state of New York. It's not a state organization, but we work with doctors who have substance use disorders or mental health disorders. And so that's what I do now. So I've gotten out of, if you will, the more traditional treatment arena to doing this. My passion is working with women. So my passion is definitely working with women, even though in my career, if you will, I have worked with men and women. And certainly in the ministry, I do a lot of teaching and have always done a lot of teaching. But my primary focus is to women. And one of the things that God really showed me was that women, even though they may come to church Sunday after Sunday, they may go to Sunday school, they may go to Bible class and choir rehearsal, there was still a remnant of women that was suffering in silence. They couldn't be really honest and open and transparent about the things that were going on with them. And these were just if you will, some of the issues that was being identified. Domestic violence, especially with couples in the church, and couldn't really talk about that.
Yep, that's so
Um,
true.
Absolutely. Women who have had a history of prostitution came into the church and got hooked up with churchmen and was ostracized and not truly accepted because of that.
Oh, wow.
Women who had diagnosis of anxiety and depression, and people telling them that they are full of sin because their faith was weak
Oh
because
my,
they were diagnosed with depression and
that's
anxiety. And people,
insane.
yes,
People
and
say
in the
that?
church,
What?
yes.
Oh my
And so and and we won't even go into the women who have substance use disorder and who are abusing prescription medications, who were using alcohol as a sense of relief, and of course abusing it as well. And so I became keenly and more aware the longer I have been doing ministry and doing workshops for women, and just realizing that there was a lot of women that were suffering in silence. And it came to a head, if you will, when a very good friend of mine, her daughter committed suicide.
God. Oh, I'm so sorry.
And she and I had been talking and talking and talking about a group for women that felt safe, but also gave people that Christian foundation, but was supportive and not, you got to do,
Yeah,
you're not doing you.
judgmental, exactly, or demeaning.
Absolutely. And so once she passed away, her daughter passed away, I went to her, we prayed, and we realized we needed to get this support group that we've been talking about up and running. And so it is now called the I Am Doing It group.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, we meet every Wednesday. And now, because of COVID, we meet via Zoom. We used to meet at Oh, I'm so sorry. A call is coming in. So sorry. We used to meet at the Next Step, which is a local facility, treatment facility for women here in Albany. The former director of there was someone that I knew very well. And I started telling her about my vision and what I wanted from this. And she said, well, I got two things that you can have right away. I have a room, so you can have a safe place to bring women from the community to. And I have women, because it's a women's program, that could utilize what these services.
Amen.
Absolutely. So God worked it out. And we just had our first year of
Yay!
operating,
Congratulations.
called the I Am Doing It group. So if people are interested, they can get in touch with me and I can give them the Zoom information. So that's number one. Number two, I am so sorry.
It's
Um, Number two, and I should have, I said I was going to use my laptop and not my phone. And well, I use my phone, and here we go.
it's called life. It happens.
Absolutely. And then number two is it really dawned on me when I was talking about women and women, Christian women, that I believe, because I am a therapist, so I believe in Jesus and a therapist, and I believe that God has given me the gift to do the work. If I didn't have that gift, that I couldn't have done it for the last 30 odd years that I've been doing it. And I have seen people change their lives, get sober. They are now clergy and deacons and deaconess, and just living really productive lives. And
Amen.
so again, though, I really realized that some people needed more. Like we always are talking about, people set goals for yourself and do this. But there are women who need support, they need accountability, they need focus, and they need direction. And so God showed me that you've been doing this all your life anyway. You've been doing this. And so he brought me to a place that I do coaching or life coaching, but I do coaching with women.
Wow.
Um, yes, through the I to God be the glory. So we do coaching, and of course, I had an office. I do still have office space on Washington Avenue in Albany. I was blessed that a very good friend of mine is a psychologist, and he had an empty office space, and he said, "Hey,
Mm.
here you
That's
go."
God. That's God right there. God will give you everything that you need, handed to you on a silver platter. Here you go, babe.
And so COVID hit, so
Yeah.
we weren't able to go into the office as much, but I've been able to still meet with people via Zoom.
Hmm.
Via Zoom or Google Duel, or I've learned so many other platforms and WebEx and whatever. So we are still offering that services, because I believe there's a lot of women that get stuck, they get stagnant,
Yep.
or the biggest one I hear, especially from Christian women, is I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't even know how I'm supposed to be doing it. And they don't feel as comfortable maybe going to male leaders for some, or to other women, because other women have demeaned them. And
Yeah.
well, you should know. Well,
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Like, no, I
no.
don't. And you know what? And they need to know that it's okay not to know. It's okay to be in that space, because eventually, if you put the work in it, you will find out what your purpose is.
Absolutely. And that's what coaching is all about. Coaching is really helping people to transform, to be the person that God has called you to be. And I always say to people, we all have a calling on our life. We just got
Yes.
to figure out what it is. It's not always preaching, it
Yep.
could be teaching, it could be evangelism, administration, whatever, hospitality. But we just have to find that place. And that's what we do in coaching, is really help people to find that place, and for some people to move forward in the place that God has you to be, not always looking in the back saying, "Oh, I can't because of shame, of guilt, of what I
Yeah.
did in the past." No, God can use anybody, and
That
he
is so
does.
true. Yes, he does.
And he does.
Yes.
And God can use. So we really, in the coaching business, that's what we do. So that is another service that I offer to people.
And what is that
Every
called again?
So it's called To God 2G. I always have to do it. So it's also To God Be the Glory, but it's not ministries. It's 2GBTG.
Two
Two
B G T G.
2G
Yep.
B
B
T
T
T G. To
G.
God be the glory, but it
To
just
God
doesn't have
be the
ministry.
glory. Yes.
Absolutely. So that is a business. That is actually a business. So there are definitely fees for services for that business. But what I tell people is I'm not here to break people financially, but I am here to help you help yourself. And many times we give money to Macy's, we give money to
For
the,
material
the, the
stuff.
liquor store and
Yep.
everywhere else. Why not make an investment
In
in
yourself.
you?
Yes.
And that's what coaching is all about, is making an investment in you. So that's what that business is called. So we have that every Monday through Friday on Facebook, and you will see this design, this logo, along with my picture.
Beautiful face.
Um,
Yep.
that's right. We do at 8:10 a.m. I do a devotional. We read from the In Touch series by Dr. Charles Stanley, and we expand on that because, as you said, I send out the prayers every morning, and then we do a meditation to start our day. So many people start their day in a very negative way. Oh, I
Mhm.
gotta go to work.
Mhm.
Oh, it's cold outside. Oh, and we're saying to people, no, we've got to change our mindset. We got to look at life different. It starts
Definitely.
and it ends in our mind. So we have that every Monday through Friday at 8:10 a.m. I'm on Facebook. You can like the page. It's called To God Be the Glory Ministries. You'll see this logo because there's a lot of To God Be the Glory, but you'll see this logo.
Mhm.
Um, and you can join us. We love to have people join us 8:10 a.m. Sometimes we go to 9, but we try to end within 45 minutes because, again, we know people have to go to work, but we want to have people to join us as well. Recently, we started because I have a 5-year plan that I believe that God is going to allow to happen, and that is to have a building for women that women can go to, that it will be their safe place. So there'll be group rooms there, there'll be a little chapel there, there will be offered there yoga and meditation and
Yes. It's like a
just
one-stop
all,
shop. All
absolutely,
for your
all
mind.
things for women to
Yes. I
just
love
come.
it.
And so I am believing God that in 5 years, we're going to have that building. That building is going to be up and running. And we are doing some ground, some from the ground grassroots efforts. One is selling these t-shirts to
Yes.
help us to get to that part. And the other one is we have tumblers. And I forgot to bring that upstairs today. That's where I'm taping at today, is upstairs. But we're selling these to just, because when we go to wherever, when we go to get grants, when we go to have people donate or sow a seed into this ministry, I don't want them to think this is all about profiting, like Grace is going to profit. No, I want to see that building come to fruition. I believe, again, women need to have a safe place, women,
Yes.
and particularly also women clergy, because that's a whole nother group that
Mhm.
they're not always supported and encouraged, so they can come, they can just be who they are, they
Be
can have a
themselves.
support group,
Yes.
absolutely, and whatever. So I'm believing God that it's going to happen.
It is. It will manifest and he will always provide. Amen.
Amen, amen.
Yes.
So that's who we are in a nutshell.
I
That's what
love
we
it.
do.
You do so much. Thank you so much for all your services. I was
Amen.
just looking on Facebook trying to find your page. To God Be the Glory Ministries, right?
Yes,
Because I
and it
definitely
looks
want to
just
add
like
it.
this. So go on
I
and look
got
for
it.
the
Yep.
dancer. You
I
see
am
it?
on it, definitely. So I will be sharing your page and hopefully if I have time to join your meditations, because that's always a great way to start your morning. Firm believer in
Absolutely.
that. And do you have a website as well or a phone number people can reach out to contact you for your services?
So we do have a phone number. We're in the process of building our website.
Awesome.
We were in the process of a lot of things and COVID hit.
Of course.
Don't we all know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So COVID threw a lot of the work with other people that we could do together, threw
Yeah.
it off. And so we don't have our website up and running. It's coming though. It's definitely coming. But how people can get a hold of me is at 518-495-2224. What I always tell people is call, tell me who you are, what you're looking for, because we all know there are people who will get these numbers and their intentions is not good and not
Yeah.
admirable.
Yep. That is so
So,
true.
I'm very cautious.
Yeah.
But however, I will respond. I will respond. One other thing that I forgot, we do, and we do it in cycles, is 6-session Bible study series.
Oh,
So we are
nice.
finishing up on a book right now that's called Don't Die in the Winter. And it's by Dr. Millicent Thompson. If you ever get a chance to read the book, read the book. We're finishing that up, but every we stop for 2 weeks and then we start another 6 cycle. So we're going to be doing one that is an introduction and an overview to the Bible, because that's the other thing. There are a lot of people who have been coming to church but don't really know how to read the
Mm-hmm.
Bible, how to
Mm-hmm.
study the Bible, or even know what's all in the Bible. And so we're going to start that series. That's coming up, and I will send you, when the flyer is done, I will send you a copy of the flyer as well.
Okay, great. And I'll definitely make sure to share that for you. That is
Absolutely.
awesome. You are a true blessing. Thank you so much for joining us here at Blessings Radio. It's an honor to finally have met you through Zoom, but I'll take it for now. And
Absolutely.
everybody make sure to check out Miss Grace Smythe Young with the I Am Doing It, and To God Be the Glory
Amen.
Ministry, and on Facebook. And make sure to send her a phone call. Sorry, guys. Once again at 518. What's your phone number, son?
495 2224.
There you
518-495-2224.
Definitely. Ah, thank you so much, hon.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you too.